Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Okay, so now let's continue with the next part of listening skills. Okay, so this is note taking and note making. All right, so note taking. Why note taking? So basically, we are going to do note taking to summarize massive quantity of information. All right, so for example, you listen to a lot of information and you do not know which one to focus, or the best way is to take down notes because it keeps you focused. All right, so next, it organizes your information in very systematic way. You know which one is first, the second part, the third one, and which one is for conclusion. And besides that, it is to make your revision easier, especially for your subjects. Okay, so if you keep your own notes, your own version of notes, you remember better and you understand better. Okay, so next one, effective note taking should first have a purpose. You should know why you do this note taking, okay? And then it should be well organized so you can understand it clearly, and it's clear and very concise because it normally a short notes to the very lengthy information. Okay, all right, abbreviations and symbol normally we use in note taking. So for example, instead of writing full version of the word introduction, we just use abbreviation like INTRO. Okay, and we can also use apostrophe, for example, continued, CONT apostrophe D, and also use symbol, for example, plus, minus, equal, more than, or lesser than. Okay, right, next one, note making skills. There are two ways. The first one is linear form and the second one is non-linear form, where linear form normally is very structured in a very logical way. For example, if you have a textbook and you look at the content page where it lists from the beginning until the end the content of the textbook, that one is linear. It is very structured so that the user has easy access to the book. Okay, it lists or short sentences with headings, subheadings, and example. Right, for non-linear, normally it is diagram forms, very visual, where you can include graphic which related to the point. Okay, so key ideas linked as branches around the main theme. Okay, so note making, for example, you can see here on the left side here is the linear form, and on the right side here is the non-linear form. Okay, so the types of note that we can produce for listening, so there are 6 types. So the first one is outline, where you write chronologically from the introduction part until the end. Okay, number 2, you can use table, especially for comparison. And then the third one is timeline, especially for chronological. You want to show development, you want to show history, for example. Okay, and then number 4, you can use mind map or flow chart. Number 5 and number 6, tree diagram. Okay, for number 4, 5, and 6, these are graphic notes, okay, which you can use for the assignment later. All right, for example of the outline note system, as you can see here, there are alphanumeric system where you can see 2 parts, part A and B. So for part A is major topic 1, and for part B, major topic 2. Okay, so inside part A, you can see number 1 here, key point, which is the main idea. And then you have supporting points or supporting details A, B, and C. And you can also include subpoint 1 and 2 Roman here. You can also have the subpoint here for A and also B. This is just an example. Okay, finish for major topic 1. You can proceed to major topic 2. Okay, so next one, this is decimal system, where you can see the content is quite similar. Major topic 1, key point, supporting point, and also subpoint. But you can see here the numbering is quite different. Here you have A1, ABC, 1 to Roman. But here you can see it used the same number, 1.0, and it changes here. 1.1 for key point, 1.1.1 for supporting point, and then you have here another 0.1 for subpoint first, and then 2 for second subpoint. These subpoints belongs to 1.1.3. Normally, decimal system, people in offices, they use this kind of decimal system so that it's easier to track the information. Okay, for example, minutes of meeting. All right, next one is table. You can classify your ideas into different categories, especially if there are only 2 categories, or sometimes it has more than 2, but the way you organize it quite similar. You start with the first point, it is same with 4, category 1, 2, 3, and 4, for example. Okay, so normally this is used for comparison. All right, so you can see it separate ideas into different columns and rows, and information in tables should be short, but make sure it is very clear. Okay, example of timeline, as you can see here. For example, it is very chronological, and you can see it stated the year here, 1999, and then ending with 2008. So the timeline here is between 1999 until 2008, and it is about, for example, technological advancement. Okay, who created it, okay, and then how it developed, which country, and so on. Okay, right, next one, mind map. Okay, you can use mind map to produce notes, where you can also include images, colors, symbol, arrows, and capital letters to convey meaning. So it is not only you can write, but you can also draw the picture related to it or include picture related to it. And this is very useful, especially for visual learners. Okay. All right. Number 2, it shows relationship between concepts and highlights important point. So normally it focuses on the main idea, and then it branched out and it related to the main point as it highlights only important points. Okay, number 3, starts in the middle of the page with the main idea, and sub ideas are branched out in all directions. So you just put the main idea in the middle, and you can creatively link the main point in whichever direction that you prefer, but make sure it is well organized. So make sure your key points related to your other supporting details, and you can include sub points related to the supporting details. Okay, all right, so for example, if we put them into box, so this is how it looks. So in the middle here you include the title. Okay, and maybe, for example, the person put introduction here. Okay, because normally introduction is the first thing that people want to know about that particular note. So it should be at the top level, okay, or at the top part of the paper or slides. Okay, so it should be on top. So introduction here, and conclusion normally the ending part. So here it goes down at the right side. So in between you have topic 1, topic 2, 3, and 4. So this is how it looks when we write it. So maybe, for example, the topic is about public and private university. Okay, so the focuses are about similarities and differences. So basically for similarities, you just list down what are the similarities. Okay, no need to do table or branches more like this, because they are similarities. However, for differences, you make comparison. So you need to have one for private uni and another one for public uni. Okay, so there are two focuses here. First one is about the courses offered in private uni and also public university. And another one is about course fees for public university and also private university. Okay, all right, next one is the sample of mind map, where I said you can include some visuals or design graphics, or you can include picture, but make sure they are related to the points. Okay, for example, this is about COVID-19, so the picture here is about the virus, and you can see the branches, the key points about disease, treatment, prevention, transmission, symptoms, and also about the virus. And you can also see the supporting points here. It use the same color like this. Okay, a little bit lighter, but actually basically it's quite the same. Okay, for example, you see green here, you still see lighter green for the supporting detail. Okay, so this one supporting detail, and this one you can see example. Okay, when you want to include example, don't include too many examples. Just find some which is very important to highlight, so when people look at the mind map, they understand better. Okay, and you can see here they put graphic related, for example, transmission, how the virus transmitted to people, eyes. Okay, so you can include picture of eyes, nose, mouth, and also droplets. Okay, all right, so next one, we'll take a look at flow chart. So flow chart, it represents information that comes in a series of process. So normally we use flow chart to show process. Okay, so if you give information in a paragraph to describe about process, people may have difficulty to remember the process when they try to go through it. Okay, so if we put into flow chart, it is easier for people to follow. Okay, so it represents relationships that are linked by time. So when we say process, normally it linked by time, because a person need to finish this one first, then only can move to another process. Okay, and then the steps in a process are shown with symbolic shapes. So you can see here rectangle, you can see here the diamond shape. All right, and also the flow of the process is indicated with arrows. For example, you can see arrow down here, arrow to the right, and arrow to the left, and also arrow to the top here. Okay, all right, so next one, tree diagram. A tree diagram look like a tree as they branch out symmetrically. Okay, it should be symmetrically. It is unlike mind map, where you can creatively branch out anywhere as long as they are well organized. But for tree diagram, it should be symmetry. Okay, so it's suitable for ideas that comes in a hierarchy. Okay, so hierarchy, this one first, and then later this one, and then next one. So if it is hierarchy, it is very well organized if we use tree diagram, because it contains categories and subcategories, and a good tree diagram shows clearly how each part relates to another. So for example, like this. Okay, so this one you can put the main idea, what it is all about. Okay, so you can see here it branched out to white milk and also chocolate milk. Okay, and then here chocolate chip cookies, and then oatmeal cookies. This one chocolate chip cookies and also oatmeal cookies, the products. Okay, so here you can see the symmetry, because you can see there are two here, right? And then this one also two. Okay, one here and also two. So there are symmetry. Okay, unlike mind map, it could be up here 4 and this one only 2, but not for 3 diagram. Okay, so which type of notes do you think is the most effective way for you and why? Okay, so this one you need to discuss with your partner later when you do the exercise. All right, so I'll see you again in the next video. Have a nice day everyone and goodbye.